just because they know their opponent is going to get really greedy with their economy. So you could catch them off guard and try to kill them before they even get that macro up. And Solar's shown it once before. We'll have to get into this game right now to see who's going to do it in this game. Soulkey versus Solar, and as you guys are already seeing on the left here, in the top left, the red Zerg is Soulkey, and he's going to give Solar a taste of his own medicine.
Now, Solar on the opposite side of the map is also going for a fairly early pool first with gas, so it does give him a slight build advantage, I would say. By the way, I have to say, Samsung jackets are beast. No, but seriously, like, I know that guy like lurks around Twitch chat, but the Samsung jacket is like actually my favorite pro gaming jacket. It's pretty beast. The one that we're looking at right now is like the best iteration too. It looks so good. Just wanted to say that. Just want to put that out there. That's my opinion. I'm basically saying it like it's
now everybody knows. Yeah. You got your opinion out there. But yeah, as you were saying, this build is definitely going to favor Solar here. He's got a safe pool timing, has that gas just for safety. He's going to get a later speed and possibly a later Baneling Nest once he identifies what Soulkey is doing. But he's going to have it on time enough to survive. As long as he doesn't mess up any of his micro, he should have enough to defend eventually. It's a very, very big map. Soulkey still doesn't even know where Solar is.
Now the crux of this for Soulkey is how much damage can he get done to the hatchery. And like you said, because he doesn't know where he is yet, it's tough for him to even start scratching on that with those Zergling claws. He's got to get over there and figure this out. Now this watchtower take here is critical because he's going to see the scouting lings, and that lets him know exactly where Solar is. But
looks like he wants to hide the lings, actually. He's moving out of the vision of the watchtower, wants to go around.
But even still, Solar's making a safe Baneling Nest here. He'll be able to hold aggression fairly easily. Oh, he's going to see this. He sees the lings. He's like, oh, that's a weird location for them to be going right now.
Yeah, and he sees all these lings. He knows exactly what's coming, and he's going to be very happy with his build choice on the defense here.
Well, the proclivity of Zerg in online tournaments, too, which Solar is known as the king of online tournaments. Man, he's played a lot of ZvZs. Let's see how well he holds this one. He needs those Banelings. The Baneling Nest isn't ready yet, and only 2 lings with this queen to help out. Soulkey could try to break through. It looks like he's just now going to try it. He has the ling speed advantage.
That's the plan here for Soulkey, but should have some Banelings coming out right now for Solar. Just one morphing on the top of the ramp.
He's going to block the ramp. He's going to block that ramp. Oh, he barely blocks it, but it's not enough. This Baneling is going to go down. It's his only morphing Baneling. This could be a huge opening here for Soulkey. The queen well placed between that Baneling Nest and the hatchery.
Well, this is what you were talking about. That hatchery should be able to go down now because the hull was just barely not there. The Baneling not coming out in time, and this is just an overwhelming amount of lings now.
19-7 is the ling count on the map right now. The hatchery survives a bit longer with this Baneling out here, and if he can actually hold the top of the ramp here, it's going to be such an advantage.
And the Baneling Nest for Soulkey was so late. It's only finishing up now, but if he had some Banelings earlier on, he could have definitely protected the lings going at it at that hatchery. But unfortunately, it looks like he's just going to back off at this point. He's going to send in 2 lings to scout, and he's morphing some Banelings back at home. Maybe he's just planning to defend from here.
He's just going to harass the hell out of these drones with that 1 ling.
Just poke him a bit.
You know, this is actually going to become a more normal game. Definitely the advantage goes to Solar. The reason being, like if you look at the tab, like if you look at the UI, you're like, well, it's even workers, army supplies even, they both got the same unit comps. The amount of production cycles and extra larva that Solar has and the extra minerals he's mined gives him like a huge edge, and it gives him a lot of flexibility because he's already made the units he needs to hold here. Let's see how well he micros, though. He's kind of getting caught a little bit away from home here.
Yeah, not the best micro there either. Could have tried to surround those lings with his own lings and save his Baneling, but just morphing some more Banelings back at home and trying to slow down this push and poke at some of these banelings. This is that micro war, that knife fight you were talking about. Looks like Soulkey's just going to try to come up the ramp, but there is a baneling ready and waiting.
Oh, yeah, he's going to need more than that one, though. Okay, he's got 3 banelings up there. Ooh, this is smart. Solar's going to go for the counterattack. There are a few banelings here waiting from Soulkey, but he needs to use them. Several drones already going down here. Loses a few lings at the front, too.
Solar's just doing so well with this multitasking at 2 places at the same time. Pokes down 2 drones and is just getting slowly further and further ahead with this play.
Yeah, he's getting a lair first. And that's that kind of flexibility I was talking about when you have those extra production cycles. You have that extra larva. It means when you make a few drones, you know, you can actually still have the larva to make more lings if you need to right away. And this is something that adds up, like, you know, less and less over time. That one advantage he had, like, is kind of starting to fade away now. But he's got to have a faster lair. Let's see if this can find anything here. He needs to micro his drones against this.
I don't think it should be able to, unless a couple of banelings
coming
through and 4.
That's pretty huge. It was expensive to do so, but he also scouts the lair here.
Ooh, nice micro. Saves that 1 drone.
Now, anyone any Zerg player will tell you, like, microing against speedlings is one of the hardest things to do in the game, but after you've done it for many years, like, that's the kind of thing where you're just, like, on autopilot, like, oh, I can easily micro the
you just
drone.
become a machine once you practice it enough.
Third base in a Roachhorn comes up for Soulkey versus Spire play from Solar. So this game will most likely be determined by, you know, does he get the Mutalisk out and hold, or, you know, do damage in time, or does Soulkey kill him with the overwhelming amount of roaches off 3 hatch? That's basically going to be the game. It's like Roach versus Muta. Which one comes out on top?
Well, this map is really big. It's going to take a long time for those roaches to get across the map with no speed, no lair right now for Soulkey. And we already have 1 spine crawler made and 1 making for Solar. So he knows the threats that are coming from Soulkey, and he's preparing to defend at the top of his ramp. As you can see, the 2 spines coming up there, and just going to try to overwhelm Soulkey. Soulkey still doesn't really know what Solar's transitioning into.
This is one of those scary things as a Zerg player. When you see those spines at the top of the ramp, your heart sinks. You know, you think to yourself, like, oh god, is this just it? He's already ready. I still have to do it, though. I still have to try. There's no transition point here anymore. I have no tech. I have no lair. Like you said, the Mutalisks are almost ready. Okay, he's going to use those banelings to break the spines down. 1 more's coming up.
Yeah, he can kind of assume what Soulkey, or rather what Solar is going for, but no spores just yet. I think he knows the timing of this. But a player who's just sitting back on 2 base, trying to defend like this, definitely has some tech back at home. Really nice baneling that hit there actually for Soulkey.
Yeah, really good. That was, like, excellent. And now this spine crawler that's left here is pretty weak, but he's got 2 more on the way and 7 Mutalisks. Thing is, he can make spores after this if he wants to try to survive and hold on, but this game is essentially over if he doesn't do critical damage right here, right now. The drones are off the line. Here come the Mutalisks, and he's not doing enough damage here.
Yeah, he's really getting no damage done. No, the Lings on the ramp going to block those last roaches. Some Lings desperately trying to get into that mineral line, but are actually going to survive. He's going to try
for the hatch. They're going for the hatch, but he does hold.
Just barely. It looks like Soulkey might not be done yet. He's ramping up for another attack. Only Mutas can be hard sometimes to stop a overwhelming ground force.
Yeah, you know what? I think, like, he sees an opening here to maybe just kill that hatch. It's going to be tough to do so, but it's down to, what, like less than 200 health? I think it was like 180 or something. I mean, obviously it slowly regens, but he doesn't have any transfuse energy or anything like that right now.
250 right now.
250?
258.
Okay, he's making more queens, but he doesn't have a transfuse. These Mutalisks, instead of harassing like they normally would be, they would be like killing drones and killing overlords on the map. They have to be used to keep these Lings back.
Yeah. On the defense, essentially, and we do actually have some Lings trying to get up here and scout. I think at this point, with so many banelings and the Mutas out in the Lings for Solar, it's going to be extremely hard for Soulkey really to commit to killing the hatchery without losing a ton of units. So
yeah, he needs a lair. He needs to make a lair. Without a lair, he can't make any more tech. Slow roaches are not going to be worth anything for the rest of this game. And look at this, banelings morphing here to try to help defend against a possible follow-up push. He can't even really secure those. He's making the spores you were talking about. There's a lot of queens here.
Yeah, he's essentially just trying to get ahead in economy. I mean, he has that 3rd base way ahead of Solar. So he definitely is. He's going to defend with both spores and queens against this Muta count. The Muta count is not very high yet, so he knows he has some time.
Oh, this queen gets caught off creep. May actually go down. Just going to go for banelings instead, the safer choice. This is such a scary attack because, like, Solar could potentially win the game if the Mutalisks wipe all the banelings. Instead, he's just pressuring while he gets his own 3rd base up. But wow, this is ZvZ's really fun, man.
Yeah, it's really, really back and forth, even on this big, big map. We do have, well, Soulkey was on camera there, but he's got some links coming into the third base, trying to scout out what's going on. Not much damage done.
Now, you know, at this point in time, like, the supply is starting to explode in favor of Solar. Part of this is because a lot of extra links had to be made for Soulkey to defend, and he lost a lot of units just here and there with the attack, as well as Mutalisk harassing the banelings and killing them. He spent a lot of money on extra queens, too. So you can just see that kind of supply lead flow here.
And he actually is finally getting that lair up, so trying to go into some tech here rather than just pumping out a bunch of units. That's some of the advantage that Solar got with that very early lair.
He's probably going to go into roaches here. And he's got a few other choices as to what he might do next. He might try to go into infestors, which is like the common answer to Mutalisk. He could also potentially, hold that thought, we're going to see his Queen's Focus is going to force some transfuses. One transfuse missed.
Oh man,
he's just straight up fighting this.
Yeah, he's focusing down all the Queens with more energy, and there's no Spore around to help out with the fight.
I think Soulkey is like not actually respecting these Mutalisks to the level where he should be. This is too many Mutalisks. And with good micro, he can actually just pull the weakened ones back.
And he's got +1 now, so those Glaives are doing so much bounce damage. He's just going to come in here and focus down more Queens underneath, or rather on top of those Spores, not even caring for now.
He's just going to wipe the Banelings, and then he can actually start attacking with his ground army. There's not enough roaches on the map at this moment in time. Okay, this is starting to be a bit too much. He's using the glaive bounce to try to get drone kills.
He's doing such a good job of just taking out unit after unit. There's kind of a desperate run by for Soulkey that doesn't get any damage done at the third base of Solar.
He has no money to make the roach count that he wants. He wants to build a roach comp, but he can't.
Look at where the lair is. It's out there. It's going to give it a bit more health, but I mean, it's very, very vulnerable. Now that he's taken out all the Queens, the Lings are going to come in here, and he's got so many Mutas too that he could just fight this.
Yeah. He's just going to keep the Banelings away. The Mutalisks are going to protect the Lings versus Banelings. He knows there's not enough roaches to hold this off, so the Lings can actually just run free. Every time a Baneling comes down, he kills it. He can stop the Queens. This game is over. He has done it. Solar is going to win this.
GG. That's it. Solar takes the 2-0 over former Titan of Soulkey.
Sick game 2 there. Really well played. Solar just playing a safer game, responding correctly to the aggression without even scouting the roach follow-up, making those blind spines just to be safe, just in case. This guy's played enough ZvZ in online tournaments and ladder games. I think he's just kind of like, he played that game like it was a ladder game.
I mean, yeah, I think you're definitely correct. This guy looks so practiced. Definitely one of the guys to look out for this season of SSL. He said that his goal was round to 4, but with that kind of play, I mean, I'd love to get a look at some of his other matchups as well, just to see exactly where he falls, where he lands against some of the other races. But we can tell that his ZvZ is already top-notch.
All right, well, we're going to jump into an interview now with our winner in that sexy jacket. Oh, that's so good. It's not even a jacket, it's like a sweater, but you know what I'm saying. Jersey. It's a jersey.
He's got his pin on, too. A couple pins there. Looks like there's a star.
DreamHack win pin, I think.
How do you feel to defeat Soulkey? I was very nervous, and my hands were very cold in the first match. So the match went actually longer than I expected. He should have been able to end it earlier. But he was warmed up for the second set, and that one was a lot easier. In the new expansion, ZvZ depends on the builds. There's more mind games. There's more options. I was able to prepare well for today's mirror matchup. We lost to Rogue 3-0 in 20 minutes. Soulkey did. Soulkey lost in 30 minutes this time around to another Zerg. Don't you feel sorry for him?
He's referring to the Challenger League last season, day 1 of StarLeague, where he lost to 3-0.
I knew about it, and I didn't really feel bad. I just wanted to advance. He didn't expect to win 2-0 this easily, but he doesn't really feel sorry for him.
Soulkey just has some bad ZvZ enemies like Shine, like Reckoning, like 7-0 in Pro League.
It's definitely his worst matchup, I'd say.
I would agree. I think his best is ZVT.
Yeah, yeah. I thought Soulkey was going to go for a greedy build in the second game. So I just wanted to play safely. And the build that I use works pretty well against greedy builds. So that's why I went for it.